the book? Oh, there it is. Okay, so welcome to my channel. My name is Sade. I regularly forget to introduce myself. But welcome. We're here to do a 24-hour reading vlog, 24-hour reading challenge, whatever you want to call it. I've done this once before earlier on this year. I just want to read. Like, I've been in such a moody mood just to sit and read for hours on end. And I have a clear day in which I can do that. So yeah, so I'm going to do probably 10 hours today, 14 hours tomorrow, just because it's so late in the day. I wanted to do 12 and 12 and then try and get like a good night's sleep. But like, I don't think that that's going to be possible because of how late it is in the day. Because I did sleep in today, but it is what it is. Now I'm on 140, chapter 7, 141, chapter 7. Like, I feel like it's getting more complicated, and like I can see a way in which I'll enjoy it, but I could also see a way in which I won't like it. Because I think the thing about certain tropes is like, I feel like the bedrock of a relationship is trust. And so sometimes certain tropes, like in a particular, maybe not just a pen pal, there's other tropes that I've noticed where I'm like, okay, like this is now getting into territory where it's like, you're a liar, you know what I mean? And like, that to me is a problem. Like, when I am dating, like that is something that would make me feel super uncomfortable. So much as I would want to forgive you and understand why you would want to keep a secret, like that just like fundamentally breaks down trust. Like, even if it's like not a lie of like cheating or like anything that's like we understand to be like bad, you know what I mean? Like, if you've I don't know, like there's certain things where it's like you're lying because you're keeping a secret about something bad versus lying out of like fear, lying out of like, oh well, I didn't know how you, like, I don't know, like fear, shame, etc. Like, there's different impetus where it's like there's lies of manipulation, there's lies of like, I'm embarrassed, this is a me thing or whatever, I don't know. And I think like one intention is like a little bit more sinister than the other, but the reality of it is like, in my opinion, the bedrock of relationships is trust. So like now I'm just like, I don't know, like this might get into a territory where I will not root for them, or it could be okay, like I don't know, but it's giving almost like the Other Zoe vibes, where it's like their vibe was so cute, but to be honest, the Other Zoe is a movie, a prime like rom-com, and I was like, they're cute, the chemistry is on 1,000, but like if I were him, I don't know, the lie would get to me. I'm not gonna lie, like I'd want to forgive you, but I don't know that I could. And definitely not if I was the family. Like the way her and the family vibed, only to find out she was lying, like I don't know, like I wouldn't want my son to like date this girl. Like I'd be like, she's a liar. Like, what's going on? Like, even though intentions were not malicious, it's just all like very questionable. Like, these certain tropes can get questionable. So yeah, I don't know. My suspension of disbelief is still there, and like we'll see how it unfolds. But like, it's making me nervous that I'm not gonna like it in the end, just because of the like pen pal section, the way it's like panning out. I don't know. Anyway, guys, one of my favorite books is like one of my favorite romances like has this trope. Multiple of my favorite romances have this trope, but I'm trying to think about how those were handled, and I think it's probably because both parties were like, I don't know. Anyway, I think it can be handled well, and then I think it can be handled in a way that would make me feel uncomfortable. Does Punk 57 have a pen pal as well? There's like multiple romances that I've read with this pen pal trope. Like, this is so interesting because I'm like, does this ever happen? Like, why did, like, certain tropes, I'm like, how did they even emerge? Because when did this actually happen? Anywho. Not that tropes are based on reality, but I would feel like for a trope to emerge, it had to have happened at least once, right? Or no? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I might be taking a nap and then come back. But I also have errands to run before it gets too late, so I'll update y'all later. But the plot is moving, but I'm scared. I'm scared and I'm stressed, guys. Update. I finished Why has no one told me this before, I think is the title. We'll put it on screen somewhere. That's nonfiction. I think if you don't really read self-help or you don't really read anything, you know, journal entries, life skills, etc., and it just covers a lot of general topics. So to me personally, like I didn't learn a ton that was new. Definitely was still some stuff that was new to me. And partially because some of it is just new emerging research, so things change. But yeah, I think there was a lot of good like exercises, like journal prompts. But like I wouldn't highly recommend. But if you're looking for something that's like general and like well written and like very readable, like I feel like you can check that out. But I do think that there's other things that resonated more with me personally. But that's, I don't know, like I have read a lot of nonfiction, psychology, pop psych, etc. So I feel like a lot of like every single book has at least like one or two things that are new to me. If I manage to get through it, because there's some books that I start and I'm like, this is trash. But but for the ones that I've actually like seen fit to read the entire thing and that I see some value in, there's always something new. It's just like, how does it hit with me? Because I feel like that's really every book. It's like, how does it resonate with you? But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I would recommend, if you haven't read a lot of nonfiction, you haven't read a lot about psychology, I would say like that's a good place to start because it's very general and very readable, very accessible. But it's nothing groundbreaking if you do read about psychology at all. Like even if you just read articles, like half that stuff you would have seen in articles. Or if you follow that lady, she like has like a big social media presence, the author of that book. So like if you follow her channel, I feel like a lot of that stuff, you would have learned already. It's just like all in one place. So if you want it all in one place, that's your book. But yeah, the primary book that I've been reading has been this book. I'm on the 220 page mark. To be honest, I kind of just want to finish it. I'm probably not going to finish it tonight, but I definitely want to finish it like tomorrow because, as I said, I'm going to break this up. It's late, so I technically should be asleep already. Who cares? But at the same time, I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule. So for that sake, for sleep consistency's sake, I should be in bed. But my thing with this book now is the main conflict of this book is that this guy doesn't believe that he has like his whole like tragic backstory, his family trauma, etc. And he doesn't really believe that he's a good guy. So I feel like that's the main blocker. But he's like thirsting after our main girl in his mind, but he's being messy. Like this is my problem, right? There's a whole neighbor favors. He's supposed to help her find a date. There's a whole reason why she feels like, okay, he could help her with this. He's meant to be helping her find a date, but he's into her, and so he's having these moments of like jealousy. To be fair, he hasn't like blocked anyone who's like super viable at this point. But he has blocked them. Like if they were actually viable options, like he would have been like literally actively working against the goal that, like, I don't know, he's just being messy. If you're gonna help her for real. Don't help her, but then want to block her when you see her vibing with someone. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird vibes. It's like if you can't handle it, then clock out. Like it's really not that deep. Like no one's gonna die if you tell her, listen, like I'm feeling you, but like I'm commitment phobic, so I don't necessarily want to date you, but like because I can't because I have my trauma or whatever, which they've kind of touched on. So she kind of knows what his deal is. So he could just say, listen, like I would love for us to be a thing, but like I don't want to screw it up, and I feel like I haven't dealt with my stuff internally. So like, don't wait for me. This can't work. But I also like cannot help you find someone because like I'm jealous. Like that's it. Like be real. Low-key, that would be messier than what he's doing right now. But like him being into her and thirsting after her for like his mind every 5 freaking seconds, even though they're like they've friend zoned, they're friend zoned and said they're friends, and he's supposed to be helping her find a date to her sister's wedding. which, spoiler alert, I know is not going to happen because I started the second book, which is, I guess, it's interesting because it's like normally interconnected standalones, it doesn't matter what order you read them in, and I didn't even really realize that they were interconnected standalones. I thought they were just completely separate. That's why I just picked up the partner plot first. So this, a lot of times I try to go in with like minimal information. This is an instance where that backfired. Because I'm kind of spoiled because I started the second book, so I know that she doesn't marry the guy who she's supposed to be marrying in this book, because she obviously the next book has to happen. So whatever. But I guess I don't remember if like they get to the altar, so maybe the wedding does happen, but like there's drama at the altar. I don't know, but potentially this whole wedding date thing might be a moot point pretty soon anyway. But because they're already hinting at the ultimate demise of that relationship. And I know why they break up and why they don't end up getting married, but I don't know how it happens. They might have mentioned it in the first pages of the other book, but if they did, I missed it. I wasn't paying enough attention. But anyway, we were off to such a good start, had such a fun time with the emails, but now that they've met in person, I feel like it's very heavy on the physical. Like they're constantly thirsting after each other, thinking how hot the other one is in their mind, which is a thing that freaking icks me out about dual POV romances. Like some of the way that like the guy will think about the girl, and he's not so raunchy. Like to be fair, he's not as raunchy as other leads that I've read, like Anna Huang. Like the way some of her like male leads think about their prospective love interest. And this is my thing, like I like for a man to be like, oh, she's like so hot, she's so this, she's so that. Like in real life, like I want my guy to like really be feeling me. You know what I'm saying? Like I want, like I want that like heat and that chemistry. So I get it, but I don't need to hear the thoughts of like, oh, I can like see her cleavage. Like what? Like I don't know. That stuff just aches me out, guys. Like I don't know what to say about it. Like it's like the objectification. It's like I know in theory we get objectified all the time, but when I have to hear the inner monologue of the way that this man's thinking about her, it just makes me feel uncomfortable. Like I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing, but that's part of the reason why I usually hate dual POV, because I'm like, I just don't like the way that we choose to write, and I'm like, this is a choice. Even if this is how men really think about us in our mind of like, oh, the tits looking great, like you know what I mean, whatever the thought process is, like even if that's the way men think about us in their mind, when they're thirsting or whatever, you don't have to write it that way. Like I was like, why are we choosing to write? Anyway, she's not a horrible offender, but it's just bothering me because like he thinks about how attractive she is probably like twice as much as he thinks about any of her other qualities. And he knows, this is a spoiler, but like he knows who she is. Like there's when there's a pen pal mystery, sometimes they don't know that they're emailing each other. Like he knows who she is, she doesn't know who he is. So it's just like he has so much understanding both in person and via email as to who she is as a person and why she's should be special to him, right? And yeah, he's feeling her and he's into her seriously and he's, feeling all these feelings and like what's going on. But like I would say 60%, 70% of like what he thinks about her is how hot she is. And it's just, to me, I don't love that in books because I'm like, to me that's very shallow. Like anyone can look at a hot person and get along with them and then be like, why don't we date? Like I need something deeper than just these people are hot. And I just feel like in person, mainly all they're giving is this person is hot. Obviously via email they already, were feeling how they were feeling about each other. So we know that there's attraction mentally, connection mentally, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. And maybe that's why we're spending so much time on like the thirst, to kind of be like, okay, well, they connect mentally, but they also connect physically. But it's just like, it's just irritating me because he is his own obstacle. And I feel like the plot is not moving forward, in my opinion. Like, I just need more conflict. Like, I need the pen pal situation to blow up in his face. I need them to like stop beating around the bush and just date. Like I need something to happen. I'm bored and I'm getting the ick from the main guy, which sucks because it's like I just had I had probably neutral expectations going into it. Like I was like, this is a popular book, like you know what I mean. But like, I didn't know if I was necessarily gonna connect with it. And then it just started off very strong. So then I got these high expectations of like, oh, it's gonna be a 4 star, it's gonna be a 5 star. Girl, like it could still recover in the last half, but I'm irritated right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm irritated. I'm like, the pacing is just slow. It feels boring and cyclical. Like we get it. You think you're each other's hot. Everyone keeps asking them, "Are you dating? Are you dating?" They're like, "No, we're just friends." Like, can you at least make her meet someone viable so that there can be the jealousy aspect that can really come to a head? Like, make something of consequence happen. Like, I'm so bored and irritated with mainly the main guy. For her, this I'm gonna spoil all the tea, okay? I'm gonna have to put a spoiler alert, okay? So they kissed in the kitchen, like before. So he's been feeling her for time. She's been feeling him for time. Like they just see each other in the elevator. They see each other in the building. Blah blah blah, because they're neighbors. And they've both been thinking in their own mind that each other's hot. So they finally have a conversation. That's at like that 100-page mark where I was like, please let something happen. They finally have a conversation of substance, and I can't remember like what, like I don't know. I think he like asked her to hang out or like something. I don't know what was going on, but she like was like, oh, yeah, I'll hang out with you, or I'll go this place with you, or whatever the plan was. They were supposed to hang out in some capacity, and I forget at this point. That goes to show you, I literally read this earlier, and I don't even remember. That's how of no consequence it was. But anyway, so they were supposed to hang out based on the conversation that they finally had in the elevator. They were vibing. She's like, okay, like I'll hang out with you, but I gotta feed my cat first. And so he, she's like, oh, you're gonna come in, whatever. So she goes into the apartment. She's staying with her sister. She goes into the apartment to feed the cat. She can't reach the top shelf, and like the stool that she normally uses is gone because her sister, moved it. And he's like, "Oh, I'll get it for you." Brushes up against her. Those vibes. They're in the kitchen, and they like kiss. Like whatever like banter's happening, they're like staring at each other. They kiss, and throughout this whole time that they've met, he starts realizing details about her that he recognized from the email. So obviously she has the same name because he is an author, and so he had a pen name. So they were meeting, chatting under his pen name as an author. So she wouldn't, lock in, oh, it's the same name, because it's not the same name, right? He has a very specific author name, and then his name in real life is very generic. Like it's like, what even is this man's name? Nick Brown, like the most like basic name of all time. So anyway, so her name is Lily. So like first off, he's like, okay, like that's odd, but like Lily's not like an exceptionally uncommon name, right? Then like the cat, she has a cat. The cat's the same name as Lily from the emails. She has the same job, etc. So the details keep stacking up, and then he sees her tattoo. So there was like multiple details, and then finally there's the tattoo, and he obviously knows for sure it's her. It's like the same tattoo, the same placement, etc. So it's like, ain't no way you have the same name, the same job, 2 or 3 other details, plus the exact same tattoo in the exact same place. Like it's obviously her. So he's like, okay, like what are the fucking odds? But like, fine, like it's her from the emails. And he was obviously feeling her from the emails, and then he's been seeing her in person and thinking she's hot. So he's like, feeling her, but what was his problem? Like, oh, like whatever they had, the email thing came to a head and it ended badly. So like he has guilt about that, and so he was just like, dang, like I can't date her because I'd have to tell her the truth, like yada 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 about why things ended so badly. So he is spooked and he tries to leave, and she's like, well, I don't know what I did, I don't know why you're like panicking, but like I kind of like you and I would like to invite you to my sister's wedding because I need a date. And he's like, oh, like I'm not dating. She's like, okay, well, it doesn't have to be like a commitment thing, I'm not trying to ask you to be my boyfriend, but I just want a date to this wedding. And he's like, nope, can't even do that. Basically earlier on she had seen him like coach his neighbor on like how to get a girl, and then he did get the girl and they were in a relationship. So she runs into them later and sees they're dating and they're happy. She's like, well, he helped this neighbor get the girl, so maybe he can help me. Like he doesn't want to date me, that's fine, but he can help me get a date to the wedding. And so she like tells him that he had raced off because he said he needs to go to IKEA, which he did because he doesn't have a freaking bed frame. So he has to go to IKEA. He's been living in this apartment for 3 months. He has no bed frame, like grown man, no bed frame. Okay. Anyway, that whole thing has been talked to death on the internet. I do feel a way about men not having a bed frame. This man too, living in Union Square. Okay, like living large in that bucket advance money with no bed frame. Why are men? I'm sorry. This is like literally. If you've seen the footage I have for the Kiss Countdown, I was gushing. Okay, and now I'm just like, I'm bitter. I'm bitter. This is 180 in like the span of 2 days. I literally finished the Kiss Countdown like yesterday. I literally finished the Kiss Countdown yesterday. How the mighty have fallen. Actually, it's after midnight, so 2 days ago. Anyway, so they go to IKEA. She's like, "I'll help you pick out furniture, and you can help me find a date." I'm like, "Girl, this is not a fair trade," because he was gonna pick out that furniture by himself. He didn't need help. But anyway, he agrees because he's feeling her. But even though it's dumb, I'm like, why would you? I could not agree to help someone that I was interested in find a date. That's just so weird. But anyway, he agrees, and I don't know the point of why I was recounting this, but basically, every time they run into people, whether it's her family, whether it's his friends, everyone's like, "Oh, so what's the deal with y'all?" And he's like, "We're friends." She's like, "We're friends." But everyone's like, "Yeah, right." Because obviously they're giving off vibes. Like, when people are giving off vibes, like, let's be so for real. And they're like always like scenes where they're staring at each other. Like, there was a 70s party and he had his buttons, his shirt buttoned down low, his chest was out. Then there's a scene where he's playing pickup basketball with her cousins at like a family barbecue, and like again his chest is out. Like, they're just always like, lusting after each other in very like obvious ways. And so it's just like no one for the life of them is believing that they're just friends. But my thing is that he's the one who friend zoned her, and it's just so awkward because it's like you're so into her and you're salivating your mind, but I'm like, you're blocking your blessings. Like, you could just date her tomorrow if you wanted to. Like, this is my problem. I feel like there's no real conflict because I'm like, all you would have to do is just change your mind and say, actually, I would date you. That's literally it. All you have to do is say you want to date this girl and the problem would be solved. That conflict. So I'm like, just let them date. Why are we dragging out him not feeling worthy? Just let them date and then have the pen pal stuff come up. That's where the real drama is the pen pal scenario that he's been lying about. A lie of omission, if you believe that's a lie, which I used to not believe in lies of omission. And now I'm like, I do believe a lie of omission is a lie. I do. Which is interesting. And that's on growth. Or, I don't know if it's growth or not, but I used to definitely not believe lies of omission or growth thing. I'm like, I don't have to tell you information unless you ask directly. But now I'm like, there's certain information where it's important for this person to know. If you do not tell them, it's a lie of omission, it's willful, I'm sorry. So my thing is that he knows about the pen pal situation and she doesn't. And so him having kept that secret, that's where the drama lies. Not in this whole, well, I'm so bad. I ruin everything I touch. Like, blah, blah, blah. That whole conflict is so late and lazy and boring to me. Like, that only works to me in fantasy. Where it's like, in supernatural. Where it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, that stuff is like, even in Twilight, oh, he's a vampire and he wants to kill her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, whenever guys are just like, I'm just so bad, I'm gonna ruin her life, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, be so for real. The only time that I've ever read it and it hasn't given me the ick is in Adam Huang's writing, because her heroes will literally kill people. So he is actually a bad guy and he does actually need to stay away from her. I'm like, that's the only time where it's been valid, because they've actually been a bad guy. this guy, he just like insecurity issues. I am not having a good time anymore, and I just want to finish this book because I want to get to the romance. Because right now all they're doing is lusting after each other, and I'm bored. Like, we get it, you're hot. What else? Hey. All right, it's the next day. I definitely stayed up reading, and then woke up and like continued reading. So at this point, I think I slept the same amount of time in the other 24-hour readathon. For whatever reason, I also feel more awake, but I also um, have less reading done. But yeah, so I still have 10 hours left because I obviously stopped the timer when I was like watching TV and stuff. So I still have 10 hours left. I might end up having to stretch this into a third day, but we'll see how everything shakes out. But I actually don't even know what time it is right now, but I think, yeah, I'll probably have to stretch this into a third day because it's, I'm sure, mid to late afternoon, and 10 hours would probably bring me into like 2 a.m. or something, like, which is obviously not a thing. So I'm gonna have to probably do like a handful of hours. So I finished The Neighbor Favor. It had a very short epilogue, but the last portion of the book I felt should have been the epilogue, if that makes sense. Also, there's like a big like airport scene type declaration, like, you know, when someone's like, they're running to the airport, they're like, but I love you, like whatever. And like all these rom-coms, it's like there was that, but there was no build up to it because the third act conflict was already resolved. So obviously it's not an airport scene, but like it's something akin to that where it's like a big public declaration. And I was like, this kind of came out of nowhere. Like, it was like she was trying to hit all the rom-com beats, but I feel like the plot, it just didn't naturally fit into the plot. So I think she's a great writer. I laughed out loud so many times. I think if you like Friends to Lovers, you'll like this. And this is not a Friends to Lovers in my opinion, but there's a lot of the elements of Friends to Lovers in here that I personally don't like, that irritates me, because I'm like, I think the point of it was to have mutual pining, which there's a ton of mutual pining in this book. So if you like that, you will love this book. But like, I just don't love that because I'm like, I need the stakes of why they're pining for each other and not just dating. Like, they're adult people, single adult people. You're feeling each other. Just date. Like, there wasn't actually a real tension. There weren't any real stakes to why they couldn't just date. Like, they were just like, no, I can't. And then one day they can, and then they do. Like, it's literally like there wasn't really a conflict that separated them. So it just felt, it didn't hit for me because I felt like it lacked the stakes that I needed to be invested in the mutual pining, will they, won't they type thing. Because I'm just like, just date. Like, who cares about all this? Just date. Like, you're now just irritating me because you're adult people and you can't just date. You're single adult people. It'd be one thing if one of them was in a relationship. It'd be one thing if he was sick or there was some reason where you could see you both like each other. It's very clear that you both like each other, but yet you're still not going for it. Like, that was just irking me. But I think if you like, I feel like it falls in line with like Friends to Lovers tropes and like how those kind of play out. And I actively don't read them because they piss me off. Like, unless I feel like in a fantasy, that's the only time where mutual pining really works for me, because then there's like high stakes to why they can't be together. They can both like each other, but like they're from different worlds. They're at war. Like, there's all these different things where it's like there's a genuine reason why you could both like each other, and yet the stakes still be too high. Like, life and death may be why you still can't be together. It's like, then yeah, fine. Like, the pining is like chef's kiss, but there's just no stakes to why they can't date. So I just felt frustrated. I wanted stakes, and I feel like there were no stakes. As far as contemporary romances go, I think this is good, and I think many people will really enjoy it. But like, I just needed more. I needed the plot to play out differently for my enjoyment. But yeah, these characters felt real. They felt human. They felt flawed. You could see why they would be together if I met people like them in person. in real life, I'd be like, you guys are so cute. Like I would be able to tell why they match each other and why they would want to be together. But as a reader, being in their heads and all this like back and forth, will they, won't they? And in my opinion, there were no real stakes as to why they couldn't be together. I was just bored. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, I already have this author's other book, and then the last book of the love lyric or whatever. That sister has a kid, and I'm not the biggest fan of kids in romances, so I'm not gonna read that. But the second one, I already have that book, and so I'm gonna read that. Even if I didn't have the book, I would still probably check it out, just because I do like this author's writing. I think she's a really good writer, so I want to see what else she makes. Like hopefully, like in the future, she'll have a book that the plot will hit for me. Because I think the writing was really good. It was just the plot that wasn't hitting for me. So I feel like if she has a book where the plot is better akin to like my tastes, she'll be a 5-star for me. But because of the plot, this is a 3-star. But I think this is also a really good debut. Like she's a fantastic writer. It just the plot didn't hit for me, but I think it will hit for other people. And I've seen a ton of good reviews. I've seen reviews more similar to mine. But yeah, I definitely want to see more stuff from her. And I think she has like a bunch of YA stuff. I'm sorry, there's like so much loud traffic going on outside right now. I'm sure you can hear it. I don't think I'll read those. I think it's really the last book that I have from her, which is The Partner Plot. And then after that, I'll have to just see what other new releases that I'll check out from her. But yeah, I definitely am excited, and like we'll keep an eye out for her stuff in the future. And then we'll see how we feel about Partner Plot. Yeah, like I'm proud and glad that I got through this like in a timely fashion. Almost 400 pages. Like I am not that fast of a reader, so I'm impressed with myself. So yeah, so that's 2 books down. Yeah, I would recommend if you like Friends to Lovers for sure. Anywho, that's it for me. For now. Hey, okay. It is yet another day, so I intended to do 2 like 12-hour days with sleep in the middle. That did not happen. So I did 11 hours on the first day, but that like took me until like 5 a.m. or something. Like I like stayed up super late. So then I slept in, so I didn't have a ton of time the next day to do that many hours. I think I did 7 hours. I have just under 4 hours left, so whatever math that is. So far I've finished Why Did No One Tell Me This by Julie Smith. I finished The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forster, I believe is her name. I don't know how much review I'm gonna put in about that book, but that was a frustrating read for me because I just felt like it was very like cyclical, and I was just like, guys, like this conflict is not, there's no stakes, please. I'm very interested to see how the partner plot is because I love second chance romances, so I'm hoping I like that one. But people said there was no drama, but I think I'm okay if there's no drama. I just don't want it to be cyclical like the last book. Like I'd rather read a book where they're just like in love the whole time and cutesy. You know, I can kick my feet and giggle, but I just don't want like drama with no stakes. That's what was bothering me about the last book, where it was like there was drama, but like the stakes were not there. So it was like, girl, this is not even these are not even problems. Like just talk to someone, go to therapy, like do something, but this is not like high stakes enough for, you know, us to spend like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages on it. And then the way that it was resolved was very like, I don't know. I just don't like to feel like the solution to your problems is obvious. In a book, like give me stakes that it makes sense that like adult people would still be like, I don't know, like how to resolve this issue. You know what I mean? Anywho, that's it. I'm not gonna say anything else on it. And I have yaps, but I don't know how much I'm gonna keep in, but I have yaps at length about this book. So it did provoke emotions in me, just maybe not the right emotion. Okay, anywho. Then I finished The Grown Up, which is a short story or novella by Gillian Flynn. I think that was 65 pages. That one, I think like the pacing was not the best in a sense that like we spent like 20 to 30 pages in like the 65-page storybook, whatever you want to call it, on the introduction and backstory of our main person. So I think that was maybe unwise. Or like the book just needed to be longer. Like, either need to be paced differently or the book need to be slightly longer. Like even 15 more pages would have made it felt like perfect pacing, because the intro did start to drag. But in the beginning, it was giving like Deadpool, like I'm trying to think of what else, like some of those like raunchy like beginning of movie narrations, if that makes sense. Like it gave that. So I was having fun. Like I didn't want to put it down during the intro portion, but it did at the end of it. I was like, okay, we're spending a lot of time on this, and we have not met the rising action of this story, and like we have like 45 pages left. So, at a certain point, I was like, okay, lock in, Gillian. Like, we're having fun. We're silly, goofy, haha. But, like, lock in. Like, where's the story? Where's the thriller? Anyway, she was a very interesting main character. I could definitely see this being, like, a mini series or, like, even an extended novel. But yeah, I had a fun time. And now I have officially read every single published Gillian Flynn work. And everything's been great. Like, I never have had a negative experience with one of her books. So if you like thrillers, I feel like she's the OG. Like, read them all. Like, don't read descriptions, just read them all. Okay, they're all worth your time if you like thrillers. And then I started Ask Me Again by Gina Maxwell, which is, I don't know, like high school crush gets a second chance. So like they were like friends when they were younger, and he was always in the friend zone, but he never shot his shot. That's the thing. He never shot his shot. So I don't know if we can count it as a second chance romance. It's just like he had a crush on her in high school, never said anything. They're grown now. She's moved back to town temporarily after like a really bad breakup. I think she was engaged or something. And he like took the apartment, all her furniture, all the friends took his side somehow. I'm like, how does that make any sense? I don't know. But anywho, point being, her life is like in the dumps. She moves back to her hometown and he's trying to get with her. And it's cute so far. It's a quick read. It's flowing. So yes, I'll definitely finish that within these last 4 hours. Bring us to 4. Yes, I think last 2 books are Ask Me Again and Serpent of the Wings of Night, which I'm like halfway through that, so I don't think I'm gonna finish that in 4 hours along with the other book, but I'll definitely finish Ask Me Again. And I think that'll be it. I have like some audiobooks that I've been listening to whenever I've just been doing household chores, and I have the third book the second book in the Three Body Problem series. I still don't know the title. I'll put it up on screen. That book is due back to the library in like 3 days, so I have to listen to that at some point, but I don't know if I'm gonna like count that in the timer. We'll see, but like I need to finish it within 3 days, so wish me luck because it's a long audiobook, but it's getting good so far. Like I'm at like the 20. I'm at the 20% mark right now, and it's getting good. In the beginning I was like, I don't know if I want to continue with the series, because we're not following the same characters as from the first book, so I was like I don't know if I'm feeling it, but now I'm invested, so it got me. And I think it's just so interesting. It's just such a unique writing style, and just like just a very unique setup. Like I read a lot of thrillers, I read a lot of sci-fi, and like I'll have a good time. Like everything doesn't have to feel fresh, but it's like when you can compare, you're like, oh, this is like a la Hunger Games, or this is like Divergent, or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? This is like Red Rising. Like whenever you have that like direct comparison, it's like I can still enjoy it, but it doesn't feel as fresh to me. And something doesn't have to feel fresh in order for me to enjoy it, but this book and this series just feels fresh, where it's like I don't feel like I've read anything like it, and that's good. But sometimes I feel like I'm not having the best time, because it's like, to me, reading is like comforting, and so sometimes when things are like too out there, like I don't feel the comfort. I don't get that like itch scratched that I love from reading. So we'll see how it ends up going, but I intend at the moment to finish the series. Hey, I don't think I've worn glasses on here. Okay, so yesterday I did finish my remaining 4 hours. Just jumping back in with an update. So I ended up reading more in
it's not even here. Normally I have my book like in the bed, like I'll literally go to sleep with my book in the bed, but I moved it outside because I wanted to take it on my walk, my morning walk with me. But yeah, so unfortunately, I'm mentally buffering like basically all day and had horrible sleep. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to wrap up the 24-hour vlog. So I ended up reading a little bit more in Serpent of Wings of Night. So now I'm at like part 4, which is like a little bit over the halfway mark. Like on Goodreads, it says the halfway mark, but I think on Goodreads, it's counting the book as 500 pages, I think. But like a lot of the back content, I think, is like an excerpt from the next book, I think. So yeah, so if we're counting like what's actually the story, I'm more than halfway, but based on Goodreads, I just reached halfway last night. And then on top of that, I just reached the halfway point in the second book in the 3 Body Problem series. I think it's Dark Forest is what it's called. And I'm locked in. Like, I feel like because the world is like so complex and like the storytelling is so unique, like sometimes it takes me a bit to get into it. Like, I feel like it was the same thing with the first book where I was like, I don't know if I'm liking this, but I'm intrigued, right? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, sometimes I'm intrigued and I want to see where it's going, but I don't know if I'm like having fun yet. And so like that was the same thing where I was like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to continue with this series, but then like I hit a bump or a point where I was like, oh, this is like fire. Like I'm still locked in as I was, and I just need to see it through. But it is, to me, it's unlike any story I've ever read. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't like what would I compare it to? Like I don't know. It's just so itself. I would say the only thing that like it's similar to but different just in format is Story of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang, but that's like a short story collection, so I feel like it has all these like variable differences because each story is different and divorced from each other, whereas like it's in this book, I feel like there's no real main characters. It's like we're learning about a time a time in like all of humanity, and we're seeing it from so many different vantage points. So I wouldn't even say we really have a main character, and I feel like that's so interesting. But yeah, like it's just very creative. The whole world, the whole dilemma, the way that people think about this world and this time, like it's just very fascinating. And they did make a show, and I haven't finished it. I'm like halfway through the show. I believe that the show follows the first season, and it's good. But I would say like if you at all interested in the show, like definitely read the book. Like it's so fascinating, very expansive, very well done. So yes, I'm at the 50% mark in that, and a little bit over 50% in Serpent of Wings of Night as of yesterday. And then I'm also 40% into Ask Me Again by Gina Maxwell. And that one, I don't know, like I feel like the tension is not tensioning. And I think maybe it's just like the necessity of pacing because it's a short book. Like I just don't really know. But I don't not having the best time with that one. Like, and I hate when this happens. I feel like because I always try and like read the sample on Kindle before I like go ahead and buy it, and it's cheap. Like it was cheap, so it's not the end of the world. But I just don't feel as though it's really worth my time. But I already like spent money on it, and it's not that long. So I'm gonna finish it tonight, but I'm not having as much fun as I originally was having because I feel like it's just there's no tension. Like she had a bad breakup. She liked this guy in high school, and then he's like, well, I don't want to make a move on her because she just had a bad breakup, but then he makes a move on her anyway. Like, so yeah, it's been more time, but like I don't know, like it just wasn't there's no tension, there's no stakes, which I think is a problem with like a lot of contemporary romances. It's like orchestrate some stakes, orchestrate some conflict that is like makes sense. Like so like a lot of the conflict like doesn't make sense. Like the whole like brother's best friend trope. I'm like, why would you not want your best friend and your sibling to date? Like, first of all, if you don't trust your friends, like with, you know, to date, like how they date or whatever, like why are you friends with them? But the other caveat, right, is that like for me, I'm like, why would I want my best friend not to be like a part of my family? Like that's dope. Like, you know what I mean? That would be like a great scenario. So whenever it's like, oh, don't date my brother or whatever, it's like, okay, like whatever. Like I just feel like that's not a real conflict in my opinion. Yeah, so I need real conflicts in romance. Otherwise it's kind of dry. Like you just meeting someone and dating them, or reconnecting with an old friend and then it becomes like a romance. Like I feel like that's not enough to be like, this is worthy of reading a book about this. Like I need more. And so we found out about the breakup and what it was, and like the way that the author did write about it was like very profound, very realistic. Like it felt very true to life. So that's it. It's a vibey, quick read, but like there's just no tension, which I think I need tension. I need drama to then make it worth it when they actually like ultimately get together. I did, I think, finish 3 books. What? Grown Up, Neighbor Favor, Why Didn't Anyone Tell Me This? And then I like got DNF'd 1 book, got further into 4 books. This is more vibey. I think had I chosen a 4th book and just like powered through that last one, like, then I could have walked away with 4 books read, which was be more than the last 24-hour reading vlog that I did. But my only thing with that is I just wanted to read what I wanted to read, versus just like forcing myself to like pick the thing that I know I could finish within this time. Because I have a bunch of like short books here, like The Convenience Store Woman, like Pizza Girl, which is around the same length, that I could have been like, let's power through, but also like I do want to take my time with these. So yeah. Anywho, I'm yapping for 9 minutes for what? This is supposed to be my outro. Anyway, I can't imagine very many people made it to the end, but if you made it to the end, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and see you again at another time.